What is a backup offer and why can it be so beneficial to buyers and sellers? All right, so I just had a buyer in backup position swing on over into first place, and now they're going to buy the house of their dreams, but it didn't come without a little bit of a challenge to begin with. So what is a backup offer? So a backup offer, let's say in our particular case, there was multiple offers on a home that was for sale. And so when the offers were presented, our particular buyer had a home sale contingency in which we had another home that was being sold. So this would have been the third one involved in it. And there were still inspections to be done and everything else. And so the seller chose to go with another buyer. And we asked if we could be put in a backup position. We negotiated and we got put in a backup position. So what that means is the buyer and seller have already agreed to terms on an offer. And if something happens in that first place position, the backup buyer automatically swings over into first place. Now, why is that beneficial for the buyer? Well, it's really cool because the buyer can still go shopping and look for other houses. In our particular area, what we were looking for, there wasn't a ton on the market. And so they really like this house. And we continued to look for other houses while we were waiting to see what happens in first place position. So the buyers in first place made some, unusual requests, we'll say, during their inspection. And the seller said, no, we don't want that. We're going to go ahead and terminate or not do what you're asking. And if you'd like to terminate, then you can. You get your earnest money back. So it was really beneficial for our buyers who unfortunately couldn't get the deal put together at first. But now, and there was no harm, right? They didn't have to. In our case, we did put earnest money down, but you don't usually have to put earnest money down, and you get to keep going shopping. If you find another house that you're interested in, it's real simple. You just terminate your backup position, write an offer on the other house. So why it's beneficial for the sellers is because it gives the sellers a little bit more leverage now. So in this particular case, the buyers asked for some stuff that the sellers really didn't want to do, desire to do, think needed to be done. And you never know how a transaction is going to go until you really get into the transaction. And the selling agent said, boy, this buyer was really making some interesting questions, comments along the process. And so it can be really good for sellers knowing that they have a backup offer in position. It can give the sellers a little bit of leverage. So it can be beneficial to both buyers and sellers. Right now in our particular market, talking to the title company, there's about a 30% fallout. So there's a 70% chance that if you're a buyer in backup position, you won't get into first place. And it was kind of funny because I had two buyers in backup position at the same time. One went through and became first position, one did not. And so that's just how it goes. You never know. And it's a good position, I think, in both parties. There's pros and cons. Some people say, well, it does give the sellers a little bit of leverage. And what good is it for us as buyers? Well, I've had quite a few buyers that automatically slide in. And the great thing about this is when that house goes pending, now there's other buyers that, they've lost out. Maybe they didn't get by. So that house never technically comes back onto the market, right? So if you're in backup position, you can slide in. And this is just part of strategy, right? This is part of knowing what you're doing, having some resources. We've gone and looked at houses when I've been representing buyers that were pending for several days with the intention of possibly putting in a backup offer. Talk to your local agent. Every market is different. There are definitely some questions that you should ask around it. And maybe if the house is already past inspection period, there's really no more contingencies. it may not make any sense to go into backup position. One of the downfalls too for the buyers is you end up falling in love with this house, and now you're just hoping and praying that other transaction will terminate. If you're a buyer in first place position and your seller receives a backup offer, now you've got a new challenge on your own, because if you ask for too much, your seller might go, hey, you know what? I got this other offer over here. It might even be for more money, better terms, whatever. So have conversations with your agent. This is stuff that, is normal real estate, and is important to strategizing around your real estate transaction. Got more questions? Hit me up. BK knows the way.